As the White House gears up for trade talks with smaller nations, its strategy is clear: pressure Southeast Asian governments to curb their economic ties with Beijing. The stakes are enormous. In 2024, China's exports soared to a record $3.5 trillion, with Southeast Asia as its largest market, absorbing 16% of those goods. In return, Beijing has poured billions into the region through its Belt and Road Initiative, funding railways in Vietnam, dams in Cambodia, and ports in Malaysia. The region's response? A flurry of deal-making. Governments across Southeast Asia are scrambling to shield their economies from the fallout of Washington's sweeping tariffs. Trump's latest round of duties, some as high as 49% on Cambodian goods and 46% on Vietnamese products, has sent shockwaves through trade and investment flows, threatening to tip the region toward a significant economic slowdown. Vietnam, for example, has offered to scrap tariffs on U.S. goods completely in a bid to maintain access to its largest export market and avoid the looming threat of a 36% levy on Thai products. Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra of Thailand emphasized the country's role as not just an exporter, but a long-term ally and economic partner for the U.S. Malaysia finds itself at a crossroads as well. The country has become a magnet for chip manufacturers from the U.S. and beyond, especially as Washington tightens restrictions on advanced tech exports to China. Last year alone, China imported $18 billion in chips from Malaysia, many destined for electronics like iPhones, ultimately bound for the U.S. Trump's proposed 24% tariff on Malaysian goods could jeopardize this lucrative pipeline. Cambodia, meanwhile, faces the steepest tariffs in the region. With a 49% levy looming, the country, one of Southeast Asia's poorest, risks losing its status as a transshipment hub for Chinese goods seeking to skirt U.S. tariffs. Chinese businesses control the vast majority of Cambodia's garment factories, most of which export to the U.S. Amid these shifting sands, China's President Xi Jinping is on a diplomatic blitz, urging Southeast Asian nations to resist what he calls bullying from Washington. But unity is far from assured. The region's relationship with Beijing is complicated by its own trade tensions and territorial disputes. Particularly in the South China Sea.in Indonesia, business owners worry that Trump's 145% tariffs on Chinese goods will drive more Chinese competitors into their domestic market. The economic strain is already visible. Over the past 2 years, more than 100 factories in Thailand have closed each month, while Indonesia has seen 250,000 textile workers laid off as dozens of garment manufacturers shut down. Southeast Asian governments aren't just reacting, they're taking action. Indonesia has considered imposing 200% tariffs on Chinese goods and has blocked popular e-commerce platforms linked to Chinese merchants. Thailand has tightened import inspections and slapped additional taxes on low-value goods. Vietnam has twice imposed temporary anti-dumping duties on Chinese steel and is cracking down on transshipment of Chinese goods to the U.S. Despite China's efforts to position itself as a reliable partner and advocate for free trade, many Southeast Asian nations remain wary, balancing the lure of Chinese investment against the risks of overdependence and the unpredictability of U.S. policy. As the tariff war drags on, the region's leaders are walking a tightrope, seeking to protect their own interests while navigating the rivalry between two superpowers. The outcome could reshape not just the region's economic landscape, but the future of global trade itself.